Jones saying year 3 in Heupel's system, I believe we will see the best version of Joe Milton. Hendon taught him some things. So you asked this question in our production meeting this morning. Is it fair for Tennessee fans, based off what they've seen in spring, to go into the fall expecting or hoping to win an SEC East crown? Which now we have Paul Feinbaum being high on Tennessee. So is it hoping or expecting? What's fair?
I think hoping is fair, and I think seeing it as a real possibility is fair. And the reason I think it's fair is not so much what Tennessee did in the spring, although there is the fact that Joe Milton never lost a starting job. And as you've talked to people, we've both heard that Joe Milton did not do anything to lose the job in the spring. That was his job, and he didn't lose it. But the other part of it is the quarterback situations across the rest of the East. Look, we just talked about it. Florida's got the worst quarterback situation. It's the best known secret in college football right now. Florida is desperately looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal right now as we speak. Billy Napier is making call after call trying to find somebody to come to Florida. Their situation is terrible. Georgia, I know that Carson Beck was given an A, but I've heard, and you've heard the same rumors, that Georgia's looking in the portal too right now because they're not so sure.
Yes, and I think everybody would be wise to look in the portal. If Tennessee found a guy that they thought was better than Navy Schuler or Gaston Moore, and he said, I'm willing to ride the pine, and I'm your emergency third-string quarterback like the NFL has, and I have the skills, then I would take that guy. But I'm past the point where I thought you would take the guy out of Wake, that you needed somebody to compete with Joe Milton. I don't think you need that. I changed my tune a little bit before spring camp, but would you take a third string quarterback that could salvage the season if something went south? Yeah, I'd probably take that guy. I mean, who wouldn't take a quarterback right now?
Exactly.
Just has to be the right fit. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree. But from what we've both heard, and tell me if you've heard the same thing, that's not how Georgia's looking in the portal right now, is it? They're actually looking for a guy that they think could compete for the starting job, from what I've heard.
And I hear that really strong in Alabama, not as strong in Georgia right now, but I'm not arguing the point. I think you're right, but I hear it in Alabama a lot.
Okay, yeah, and that's the other point. Alabama is the third one. And Alabama, look, I've been very clear. Alabama's taken a step back this year for as good as their recruiting class is. Bryce Young is the only reason they won more than 8 games last year, and he's gone. They don't have a quarterback that can replace Bryce Young. They're having trouble at the quarterback spot. I think they'll be okay long term, going back to the old school ways of Tommy Rees, and I guess Nick Saban hates when you say this, but ball control, offense, and things like that. But I do think that this year is going to be a problem. So Tennessee is going to get a rebuilding Alabama. And yeah, I said rebuilding Alabama. They're going to get Georgia at home, and Georgia's not so sure about their quarterback situation. And they're getting Florida on the road, yes, but Florida's quarterback situation is a complete disaster. So I don't think it's and their other West opponent is Texas A&M. You and I both agree Texas A&M is, I mean, you want to talk about the bottom falling out of a program. This is going to be 2000 Alabama with Mike DeVos, that Texas A&M year.